George Strezov just sent me Sambhala, the new Textural Orchestra library from Strezov Sampling. And I've got to say, I've never been able to write this kind of relaxing, atmospheric, meditative music so quickly and with such great results. This library is going to be perfect for any type of film, TV, or game composer. And I expect it will also become popular with anyone writing music for yoga or meditation, as these sounds fit perfectly into that style and it's so incredibly easy to use. The first thing I did when I got this was check out the string ensemble patch. It's a perfect tool for sketching chords, since it has the full string ensemble, from violins to double basses. You can really hear the care and craft that goes into each sample, especially the delicate highs that you get out of this, and how carefully balanced it is with the mids and lows across the whole keyboard. Now, what you're probably wondering about is this section in the middle of the interface here. It's the elements section of Sambhala, which allows you to add the 4 elements: air, fire, water, and earth. Sampled from real field recordings of these elements, plus a very organic, handcrafted synth pad sound, which is called ether, and is perfect for giving that touch of spirit and emotion to your instruments in Sambhala. These elements can all be turned on or off to preserve memory and quicken load times, and what's really useful about them is that with a right click and a fader move, you can control the elements separately from the instruments in the same patch. Let's take a look at some of the other instruments in the collection. Strezov Sampling is famous for its choirs, and this is an area where Sambhala definitely shines. With all the sustain patches, you control dynamics with the mod wheel, or CC1. Using the mod wheel, the female solo voice goes from a very soft to loud, almost tribal ornamented vowels, with these very special twists right at the release. The textural voices has 10 different patches within it, samples of both males and females in different ranges and sounds. Key switched using these red keys from G-1 to B0. Watch where the blue or green keys light up to see which ranges each one unlocks. These are some really interesting vowels, definitely not your standard oohs and ahs. Some of these sound like monks to me. And definitely give a more textural feel, without slowing down the pace of creativity by having you select chains of syllables like in a normal syllable builder. In the woodwinds section, we have a great selection of legato woodwinds from all over the world. My favorite is the Bansuri. Of course, it has both that overblown start for the ethnic feel and a smooth legato transition that is surprisingly agile. You can really play some fast runs and it keeps up with you. One of the things we really got better at when updating Jade, our Chinese and Mongolian ethnic library, was crossfading between the sometimes unpredictable live vibrato in these ethnic winds in a way that sounds natural, without resorting to using scripted vibrato, which wouldn't have any of the great overtones that you get with the natural samples. Again, this is done using the mod wheel, CC1, not velocity, so you can fade between vibrato and non-vibrato in the middle of a held note. Let's look at percussion. The tempo bowls are really special here. These are completely different samples, even a different set of bowls from the ones we sampled in Jade. You have 4 different types of mallets. Again, key switched. And this last one sounds like rolls with brushes. There are lots of other percussion instruments I'm sure you'll have fun playing with, including this one huge menu style for all sorts of auxiliary percussion, played in textural styles. If you weren't a fan of the X3M engine, you'll probably like this. Everything is laid out, so it's easy to find without having to build your own kits. Of course, it's not as customizable as our X3M instruments, but that's not always what you want for textural percussion like this. There's even a drum kit, which I found works incredibly well with the default included convolution reverb, which you can turn on in the effects section on the right of the interface. With it, the bass drum makes a huge thump, which gives weight to your tracks without sounding too aggressive. Something still surprisingly hard to find in the era of endless epic drum samples. These effects, although I'm sure you already have some in your DAW, really speed up the pace of writing. You can do everything inside one plugin very quickly, without having to load up others if you want to add a delay or filter, for instance. Plucked strings are another real specialty for Sambhala. My favorite is the Monolini, which really shows the convenience of sampling for this kind of instrument. It's a 21-string zither, all tuned to the same note, meant for strumming. You can imagine how long it would take to retune the instrument for each note you want to play, but in Sambhala, we've done all this work for you. You control tuning via the purple keys in the left hand. Then you can use your right hand to pick from 4 different strumming patterns. Or play melodies on single strings. If you're familiar with the pads section from other Strezov sampling products, like Afflatus or Jade, that's what we've done here again with Sparks. There are 66 patches, split into 2 genres, sci-fi and fantasy. And these each have 3 separate stems: synth, percussion, and FX, which can be split or played individually. The effects are made from the Sambhala samples and will fit very well with the rest of the library. Additionally, you can add any of the elements to these pads to give more of a Foley or field recording quality, and assign any fader or CC to any of the elements, so you can make your own evolutions over time. This is a very unique and useful library. The people at Strezov Sampling keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and every new product builds on the innovations and methods we've developed over a long history of making great sample libraries. I hope you enjoyed our introduction to Sambhala, Textural Orchestra. And always, please let us know how you plan to use it and if there's anything we can do to make our products a better fit for how you write music.